All of these protests erupted in response to the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis. He was pinned by a Minneapolis police officer and later died. African-American leaders in Chicago have very strong opinions about what's happened in the city over the last 2 or 3 days, and CBS 2's Dorothy Tucker has talked to several of them. Dorothy?
Jim, how do you address the storm? How do you calm the storm? That is the question that I asked religious leaders tonight. How do you address the concerns of the peaceful protesters? And that is the majority of the protesters that we have seen out here the last 2 or 3 days. I spoke to Reverend Otis Moss from Trinity United Church and posed that question to him.
This is pulling back the Band-Aid, and many people are saying it's dangerous to birdwatch in New York. It is dangerous to just come out of a store in Minneapolis, that every Black parent has to have a talk with their child about how to exist in this world so that they will be able to come home safely. My prayer and dream is that no parent has to have that conversation with their child. I want my grandchildren to be able to say, we don't have to have that conversation. But the reality is that we do. And we need everyone. If this is to stop, those people who call themselves white, it's a racial construction, must also become allies to say that racism, racial terror, white supremacy, creating disparities, this is not who we are. We must dismantle this system, and we must build coalitions in order to do so.
As a mother of 2 young African-American men, those words ring true to me. Jim, I know they ring true to you as Black parents. We've had to have those conversations. I can tell you it is a very difficult conversation. It is a depressing conversation. It is one that you wish you would not have to have, that you attempt to tell your boys and girls as well what they must do if they ever encounter a police officer, how they must act, what they must do to make sure that they can get home safely. Like the Reverend said, those are conversations that we hope our grandchildren won't have to have anymore, but it will take building a coalition in addressing the racism that we see in this country. Jim?
Dorothy, as you know, my father was a Chicago police lieutenant. He had that conversation with me when I was 15 and a half and learning to drive.
That's right. I mean, I did the same thing when my boys were just that 13, 14, 15 years old. Even when they're just going back and forth to school, and especially when they begin to drive. And then in this day and age, you have to have the same kind of conversation with your daughter. And it is something that African Americans fear. There is just always concern that when they leave home, that they may not come back, and it's a sad state. But I feel like there are hopefully some opportunities. Hopefully we can talk about building a coalition and addressing many of the issues, the underlying issues that lead to what we see today. Sorry about that, guys. It dropped.
Working from home.
All right, Jim, that must be my cue to leave.
Yeah, well, Dorothy, as you fix the camera, I just want to mention, and I know you both know this, but Trinity and specifically Reverend Otis Moss has been outspoken. They use their abilities within the community and the church to send a message. And even today, in addition to speaking about George Floyd, the Reverend Moss, he spoke about Ahmaud Arbery. So this has been something that particular congregation led by the Reverend has had strong feelings about for quite some time, Dorothy. And so in speaking to him, did he talk about the fact that this is not just discussions he has to have with his children, and I know that you all do as well, but this is a name added to a list that he continues to have to address with the community. Yet another one, Floyd here, after just within the last few weeks, addressing Arbery to his congregation?
You know, unfortunately, Erica, this is a conversation that he has had to have with his congregation and with members of the community numerous times. You know, I mean, just think of the last few years, and it's not just you know, something that happens here in Chicago. You know, you can imagine what the conversations were like when it was with Laquan McDonald. You can imagine what they were like with Eric Gardner. You know, there's a long list, and I think if you talk to Reverend Moss, if you talk to any of the other religious leaders in this city, they're weary of having these conversations. You know, I think what you're probably going to see tomorrow, from what I understand, is you know, kind of a call for calm. You know, I think they want to get the message out to the protesters that, you know, it is time for people really to sit back and figure out how to address the issues without some of the actions that we're seeing. You know, because there is a lot of pain. There is a lot of pain in the community, but you know, I think religious leaders that I've spoken with are just saying that, you know, we need to take a breath. You know, we need to step back for a few moments and think about ways to you know, improve the situation, make things happen better than some of the actions that we're seeing tonight.
CBS 2's Dorothy Tucker, thanks so much.